welcome back, Cowboy Crazies, and welcome to episode 3 of How About Them Podboys. Your boys are back to talk week 1 in the NFL. It is a glorious day, baby. This is the best day of the year, first Sunday of NFL football. A lot of games kicked off today at noon. What are some things that caught your eye? Who looked good? Who were some of your surprises and kind of some takeaways already from this early window of games?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm happy to hear you say that it's opening day, and we got some real good football teams and some surprising ones. I'm gonna start off with the Steelers Jets game. Dude, that was just a shootout. It was absolutely insane. I really think the Jets are a team that you can really look out for this year. But in addition to that, the Steelers really didn't look bad at all either. Surprisingly to me, dude, Jay Fields was slinging it. Like he was actually throwing dots today. And then he's versatile too. Like he killed it on the ground too. Him and Garrett Wilson have a great connection, obviously, because of OSU. So I don't know. That's a game I really liked. What's one you thought early at noon? You're like, wow.
I'm going to go that same direction. I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers. We talked about that kind of that first podcast. I know he used to break our hearts as Cowboys fans, but like to see him go out, I mean, he's already said this is his 21st season. This is his last one, his last campaign. I want to see him succeed this last year, and I thought he balled out for the Steelers. I think it's going to be, re-energize his final year and getting a new place to play for a good franchise. Like the Steelers are winners. They brought in a lot of veterans. It was good to see them look solid. And on the other side of the ball, Aaron Glenn, first-year head coach for the Jets, he coached his
He
ass
brought
off
some
against.
juice, dude.
He did.
He
He
brought a
did.
lot of juice.
He did. It was sweet to watch. Like you said, Justin Fields was kind of wrote off, I should say, and they just kind of flip flopped him and Aaron Rodgers, team for team. And Jay Fields is going to have those boys playing hard. Like the Jets are no joke, I don't think either. I know they fell short today, but that's more just because Steelers got a couple more big plays, key takeaways towards the end of the game. But that was a
Hmm.
heck of a first game of the NFL season, like 34-32. You don't see that a lot in the first week. I think usually they're more tune-ups and people are getting into it. But that was awesome to watch, and I was glad to see it for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, I guess I'll ask you this one. What's one team? I think we chatted about it a little earlier though, but what's one team like, oh gosh, eliminated from playoff contention first week?
First week is overreaction, like you always watch it and
Hmm.
you're like, okay, some team is done, but I will put my mortgage on the Miami Dolphins are eliminated from playoff contention already. I watched just a little bit of that game. I kept switching off of it because there wasn't a whole lot of highlights or anything to watch for in that game. And the Colts, don't get me wrong, not trying to take a shot at them, but when you come in and Daniel Jones won the starting job from your franchise quarterback Richardson, you're not expecting him to really ball out either. Like it wasn't
Hmm.
like he was having a hell of a career for the Giants. So there's a reason he was able to be picked up. So I don't know what happened there, but Miami looked absolutely like garbage. They were possibly the worst football team in week 1. I know there's still games to be played in the 3:00 and night game window, but he, uh, McDonald and just all of those guys at Miami got to be kicking themselves on what are they even going to be doing? How long until, I know it's week 1, but how long until Tyreek Hill's having an issue? Because if they can't throw the ball and Tua doesn't know
But yeah.
what he's gonna do. I mean, don't get me wrong; those injuries probably are what have started that happy feet, and where he can't sit in the pocket calmly and set his feet and make 10 to 15 yard down the field throws consistently. They are going to have an issue all season long. I mean, they are poorly ran. It looked like because when you come into the season, it shows what your off season
Hmm.
preparation looked like, and they looked like they didn't do a damn thing this whole off season. It looked like they just rolled the season over, said, "Oh, we're gonna be all right. We got flashy offensive weapons." They couldn't stop a probably average Colts team. I mean, I don't think anybody's expecting them to compete for a Super Bowl, and they got trounced. And then offensively, where your strong suit is, to play as poorly as you did, and Tua letting the game get so far out of hand that he's benched for Zach Wilson just to get scrub time, that's not a good look. So I would give the Dolphins an F minus this week. I think they're the first team I'm writing out of playoff contention.
Yeah, yeah. Just to piggyback on that, dude. Like, Danny Dimes is absolutely just rolling you and just marching down the field, just dog walking you into the end zone. And honestly, bro, I had Jonathan Taylor last freaking leg of my parlay, and Danny Dimes QB sneaked it 3 times. I'm so mad, so pissed, bro.
How much would you have won off that?
It was like 500, I think.
You wouldn't have been making the podcast then. You would have been doing something else with the new 500.
Yeah, it was 5 legs, all running backs. It was like Bijan, um, Jonathan Taylor, the one that hit Genty, Chase Brown, and then
Dude, and the wild thing
some
is of
other
just
guy.
the guys you just threw out there, they ripped a touchdown like immediately in their game.
I
So
know, bro.
you were probably sitting there pretty. Did you have a cash out option?
It was a bonus bet, so
Oh, okay.
you don't get a cash.
I know. Yeah, that's
I was
crazy.
so mad, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but that's
I went a little deeper because it's funny you brought up that gambling. That's like my favorite part of week one too. Is like getting back and to
yeah.
have a ton of games to play off of. Bro,
hmm
I put a 3-legger on for $143 win, of Jonnu Smith to get a touchdown.
Bro, he scored.
I know, and it was a 3-legger. So Jonnu had to get one. My boy Noah Fant, shout out Iowa Hawkeyes,
Yeah,
dude,
bro.
and
What? You picked Noah Fant?
yeah, he had plus 800 because I knew he's their new number one tight end. So I was like, all right, Cincinnati's going to try to get him involved. He got
That's
one,
a
and then
crazy pull.
the third one, who I thought would be the no brainer, was Tyreek Hill, and he didn't do
Oh
anything.
no.
So I missed from a Hill touchdown, and I was like, bro, come on. I picked 2 long shots in a for sure and got screwed.
Yeah, dude. Isn't that the worst feeling?
It is. It's crazy. But hey, so I know you asked me. Let's get your take on who's your disappointment of the week so far, and or maybe if someone that you're eliminating from playoff contention.
I mean, I think everyone has written them off and from the start, even last year. But I mean, just the Giants. Like, no, I mean, obviously Russell Wilson played, and maybe they'll bring in Dart here soon. But I mean, that whole game, I guess I just wasn't impressed with anybody. I mean, 21-6 final score. Um, Jaden Daniels, like, I don't know, just to me didn't really look like the Jaden Daniels that we saw last year. But I mean, just terrible stats. Like, here you go, Russell Wilson, 17 for 37 for 168. No tutties, no interceptions. Like, and then when Russell Wilson's your leading ball carrier, 8 carries for 44, like there's something wrong with the offense. And then obviously just like Dable's on the hot seat, and
$100.
I saw a clip earlier today, and Neighbors and him were literally jawing at each other, like pissed off. So, and then he tried to make up with him, and Neighbors is like not having it. So,
Yeah, he tried to
like,
dap him up, bro, and he just
yeah,
ignored it. Like, and then he did that
yeah,
awkward bro hug. He's like, yeah,
hmm
because he knew
hmm
cameras are on him. That's going to be a
hmm
story too. Like, well, like not to jump in, but Dable, like, does he have control over them, or does he just like? I don't think he has a game plan either. Like you said, Russell Wilson leading your team in rushing, in
hmm
being an old veteran quarterback, like that's not a good look.
mm Oh, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by week 4, week 5 if he's gone. Just because this trend in New York has been the same shit, different year. So, just obviously gonna write them off and hopefully get 2 free easy wins there in the division.
Yeah, that'd be great. So, talking about our division, you talked a little bit about Washington. Obviously, we'll go to our boys and what we're here for the podcast. Let's recap. I know we talked right before the game started on Thursday night and just talked about what to look forward to for the game, and we highlighted some things where we wanted to just see us compete. And I'd
hmm
say for sure we can leave saying we competed with the Super Bowl champs.
hmm
However, this one stung a little more for me than I thought it would. Only reason is I think that was a game that was up for grabs for us to win and walk out of there with a steal victory. Um, I mean, hell of a game for Dak. Honestly, I thought he was dropping dimes the whole night. We shouted out him before kickoff on Thursday and said that he's going to have a great season for us to compete, just with some of the subtractions we had. But like you said, I'll give you props. I thought Pickens looked good. He got us some penalty. He didn't have a ton of receptions, but he's that over
Right.
the top threat opposite of CD Lamb, where we got a couple crucial pass interference down the field because he did beat a guy and they just had to slow him down. So I just think overall positive. What were your takeaways just from the game in general?
Yeah, not mad at all. Like you said, it's one, it's a little gut wrenching because if you get it week one, it's gonna affect, we sit down the road, we 16, 17, and even playoff pictures. So, because I feel like in my eyes, these will probably be two playoff teams, and it could be a chance from a 1 to 2 seed to, 5 or 6. Um, I wasn't mad at all with our performance. A little upset on CD's part. 4 drop balls as a wide receiver one's unacceptable, and he knows that. He does. He's a team captain this year, so I saw a clip. He was the first person in Friday morning, just working on jug machine. So not worried about it, just a little upset, and I think he's kind of kicking himself too because he knows if he catches those balls, it's a whole different ball game, and he lead Philadelphia with a win.
100%. And like as a leader, though, for him to take ownership, that shows strides. Not that he was immature ever, like that's not what I'm saying, but I know in the past, it'd be easy to point fingers and not bring yourself up, but for him to be immediately tapping himself on the chest at the game, and then like you said, coming in next morning to get more work in when it wasn't even required on Friday to come
Hmm.
in, that shows strides of I think leadership from him and where I think our team's direction is going. Because like I said, I saw a lot of positives. Like, yeah, we ran out of juice second half, but both teams did. You could really dial that up to the delay. That's hard to go back into the locker room. Everybody's juiced up, amped up for the season opener. Then you sit an hour and come back. There wasn't a lot going on the second half, only those 3 points for the Eagles. But offensively, I thought that was the best we've run the football in several years. And Javonte Williams looked solid for us. So that was a huge plus. Um, Not only did he get a touchdown, remember we talked about him on having great leg or great odds to get a touchdown. He scored twice. So, I
Hmm.
mean, to have him get in the end zone for us, I thought that set up the play action pass, that set up, a lot of those underneath routes off of play action, or just kind of opened up the defense where they had to spread or had to accept the run and respect the run. And we played well overall. So just some things to clean up. Like you said, if your star player, your best receivers dropping 4 passes, that's going to lose you games, especially in the time that those drops came. But I thought we hit on pretty good cylinders. The one takeaway I have that's negative, I want to get your take, and then you can jump in wherever. But I thought that we had a poor defensive game plan only on quarterback spying Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I texted you that during the game. Like, what are we doing? Like, why isn't this? And I think some analysts try to relate it to like Micah Parsons, like maybe chasing him down. And I don't think that's what the case is. I think you have a QB spy. I mean, we knew he couldn't throw the ball. He had, let me pull 19 for 20 for 152 yards, bro. And if you look at his completion chart, he had, I think, one ball over that with that one deep ball to Dotson, which was maybe what 50 yards. The rest were check downs, 10 yards in. Like, so it's pretty ridiculous that we didn't make a defensive adjustment even after because he had 2 rushing TDs, right? And we had. I feel like we didn't adjust to that at all, and I feel like that is another reason for letting one slip away, and that's why it's so gut wrenching because it's 1 to 2 little mistakes that you can change during the game.
Right. Well, and like I said, that'd be a huge win. Not only is it first game of the season, you want to start off 1-0, but it's a division game. So if you could get one up on the division, it just sets you up for success where, maybe you drop an unfortunate game middle of the season. But now all we can do is look forward. I think there's a lot of
Hmm.
positives from it. I thought we saw a lot of our young guys and Kenny Clark as a veteran, some of our guys that came in that had to be those pivotal pieces that we brought in for a reason. I thought for the most part, everybody played well. So that should give us a solid chance to compete with everybody. And as we look forward, let's go quickly into week 2 while we're here and just talk about we travel to the New York Giants. Or are we home? We're back home, aren't we? I believe we're back
I
home.
think we're home. I think we're home.
Yeah, we are. We're back home with the New York Giants, and now the expectation is this is not a game where we can compete. We have to win. Like I don't want to leave that one 0-2. 0-2 from 0-1 would be a completely different feeling when we're talking, next week about it. But I like our chances in that one. After seeing New York play today, they're still as dysfunctional as they were a season ago. To the points you said earlier this episode with Dable and Russell Wilson being their leading rusher. I think as long as we take care of Malik Neighbors and we'll shadow him, and I think we'll have Diggs on him and we'll have Bland and guys, just ready to take away his big playability. We should be all right because their offensive line still is nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. Washington got, a lot of pressure on him, controlled the line of scrimmage on that side of the ball. So I think I like our chances to go 1-1 with New York. What do you think the keys are to that one?
Just dominating. Setting the tone early. I think Dak will control the game, and I think that's where it starts. We'll have the offense flowing, and then, like you said, we'll establish a run. And I, it just feels different this year to me. I feel like the offense is way more flowing. I feel like there's openings that we didn't have in the past that are starting to open up now because we do truly have a run game. I feel like, and then I feel like the O line is held up real well, especially against the defense like Philly. So that's apparently like top three. So establishing the run, and I think we'll go from there. And Dak looks comfortable in the pocket, and defensively, um, like you said, Neighbors is a big guy to watch out for. But other than that, I just don't know who they really can go to.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of other um, studs or stars to say that can kind of take over a game. Like right now, Scadaboo played today sparingly, got a few carries. He runs hard. I mean, I saw him
Mm-hmm.
just literally put his head down trying to run through dudes, but that's
Guy's
only
a
going to
bowling
work
ball.
for, yeah, but that's only going to work for you, and that's only going to work for his body if he has blockers. Otherwise, he's going to put himself in the hospital like in week 3. But I don't know. I think we dominate that game. I hope so. I just don't want to come out flat. I like you said, I thought we came out week 1 like with a purpose. And I loved what Shoddy brought to the table. I thought he coached a hell of a game. And I like his all business demeanor. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I liked McCarthy. Like let's back it up to our last coach, but go from where we were to where we're at now. But I don't think he was like all business. Like I feel like he kind of let some things fall through the cracks and was kind of very poor clock management coach. I mean, how many games in the last couple seasons did we lose with like timeouts still in our back pocket or not running
I
or
hated that.
yes, and
Hated that.
in the National Football League, games are coming down to, 1 to 5 plays each and every week, and just the use of timeouts or lack thereof is what killed us with McCarthy. I thought Shoddy coached his ass off. He had great game plan. He managed time management well. Him and Dak looked like they were in sync on what they wanted the offense to look like. Now defensively, I thought needs to be a little better. And Eberflus, coming in as DC was kind of lackluster with his stint as head coach with the Bears. I think we need to create more of an identity defensively, but with new pieces, some rookies playing, new linebacking core. Not a full off season with our corners, with a lot of them injured. I think that'll just come with time. Like I think we were just more injured. Uh, Not a lot of time to gel as a unit, but I think overall our defense is going to be super solid. I do. I think they're going to be giving us a chance. I mean, holding Philly to 24 still, that gives you a chance. Like you got to keep teams to no higher than, I'd like to say 20. I mean, great defenses keep them to 20 and less, but 24 against the defending Super Bowl champs, you're going to give yourself a chance. So a lot of positives. I think our defense cleans it up, kind of gets gritty, kind of gets aggressive in week 2 against New York. I think this is where we get a couple picks. Corners get their legs under them. Linebacking core is working more downhill in the run gap assignment. You don't really have to quarterback spy Russell Wilson, so it should be a little easier game plan on that side. And then I think defense gets juiced up, energized, and that just leads to offensive performance, hopefully scoring over 30 plus this week.
Yeah. Really would love to see D line get to the quarterback this following week. um, and those sacks turn into rush throws, turn into interceptions, turn into ball, better field position, and then offense lights out. So would love to see Joe Milton play this week because that means we're up 40 points. So
Right, right.
that's what I'm looking forward to.
No, that'd be awesome. So, let's go over one more topic real quick. And week one of the season, a lot of people are probably doing shows out there, and when we turn the TV on and watch stuff as we move forward after tonight's games are all done and everything, Monday morning headlines usually go over the craziest things. So we kind of talked about
Hmm.
our uh, biggest disappointment and maybe biggest surprise, or what we saw and what we liked. Let's go right out of the books here. Who after week one are you thinking is going out and maybe is competing to win the NFL MVP? And then give me your NFL best team after week one.
Oh shoot, that's tough. I mean, I'm biased as shit, but obviously I'm gonna say Dak for MVP, but that's just besides the point. Yeah, I'll pick someone else that's not a Cowboy. As much as I hate to say it, and because I was a hater on him on episode one, but Herbert actually looks solid. I feel like take down Mahomes and them, and this is besides the point. Maybe the Chiefs aren't the team that we think they are, just because
Which I
Patrick's
would
there.
which I would love if they're not the team.
Wow,
I would love
crazy take,
no, I would love
crazy
to
take.
see Kansas City be done, like dethroned. Nobody wants to see them.
Wow,
You want to see them be good still?
that's ridiculous. You're hating on greatness. See, I didn't appreciate Tom Brady when I had the chance. I only appreciated when he was gone. But Patrick Mahomes is something I've never seen before, and I just I love everything about the guy. And I didn't mind when he went back to back. I did want him to win a third, especially against Philly. Why wouldn't you, right? But I don't care for that dynasty to be over yet. I really do enjoy the Chiefs, especially since they're on the opposite side too. I mean, then we do play them on Thanksgiving this year too. So I as much as I hate to say, I do think that their run may be coming close to an end. But I'm not a Mahomes hater. No.
No, and I'm not trying to hate on him. Like, I won't take his greatness away. He's one of the best to ever do it. He single handedly carries their teams to wins, like week after week. Sometimes, especially when guys go down. But like, I'm more just saying I'm sick and tired of watching them be the team to beat. Like, I think it'd be way more fun AFC to watch an AFC title game between the Ravens, the Bills, or the Bengals to
Mm,
come back. And that's where I'm
okay.
going with my MVP. I think this year is I'm going to give it to Joey Burr. I think he is
Bro,
going
they
to.
looked like shite today.
They
They
did,
beat the
but
Browns by 1 point. They looked like
I
absolute
I know
shite.
they did, but I think Joe Burrow with his weapons offensively with Chase obviously, and Noah Fant now as a new acquisition. I think he's going to be a big target. I know you're laughing at that one, but like, dude, I think he's going to come in as a big tight end. They still have other weapons. Um, Joe Burrow he throws for a shit ton of yards every single year, but he just ends up letting the defense gives up 40 points a week. So I think he's going to ball out this year. I think they're actually going to make the playoffs. And I see him as my MVP threat, I should say. I'm not going to write it off to him already, but I think he's going to be in the running and have a hell of a year.
Crazy take. Crazy take. Austin's future MVP beats the Browns by 1 point.
Hey,
Anyway.
it's
Anyway.
week one overreaction, baby. Week one overreaction. No, yeah, let's
Um,
let's let's depart with our best teams after week one. You think, and then we'll get out of here.
um, I guess I'm gonna throw out the Chargers. I think the Chargers are gonna be very solid this year and maybe the top of the AFC. Someone we could see in the Super Bowl. Um, and then I don't know. I'm just looking at scores right now, and Green Bay's up 10-0 against Detroit. So maybe Green Bay is Micah doing anything? I haven't really tapped into
Yeah,
that
he
game.
he did get a sack. I'm watching it live in front of me, and
Oh
yeah,
gosh,
he already is doing the
impacting the
work.
game.
He is.
Yeah,
So the craziest thing is just he's been on every play. I feel like he's actually getting in the backfield and wreaking havoc. So that hurts a little
seems like
bit,
seems like
but
everyone just excels once they leave the Cowboys. But
yeah, dude. No, but I love your take on the Chargers. Herbert looked phenomenal. Like he looked like he was the best player on the
really,
field in the
hmm
same game that Mahomes is playing, which is crazy. And
hmm
then his big first down run to seal the game, that takes nuts, dude. Like he just was like, all right, I'm going to get this. We're not losing a close game to the Chiefs again.
again,
Um,
yep,
and Harbaugh to be his head coach is probably the best thing that's ever happened to him. He's going to have great game plans. He's going to put him in the best place to succeed. So I like that take. I'll leave the viewers and listeners with just, I feel like the best team in the NFL after this week, or somebody that could contend, I will say, to be the best team in the NFL, is not a lot of teams that are going to say, or a lot of people are going to agree with this, but I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how they look today. They struggled to win. I get that. They barely beat the Atlanta Falcons. They started super ugly. But when you play division rivals like we were talking about with our Cowboys earlier, that's such a tough game to start the year with. So
Oh, and they're home too. So walking your trap, take over your trap. Like they got it done
no,
at
no,
their place.
they were at Atlanta.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Yeah,
at Atlanta, which is crazy. And Baker Mayfield, dude, he is an absolute dog too, because
dog
he is, dude, because he led a comeback several times in that game. He hit rookie receiver Abuka, who was
twice.
twice, dude, who had the game-winning reception or touchdown. Uh, that's going to be a tough offense to compete with when they get everybody healthy, because they didn't even have Chris Godwin back. So they'll add Godwin to the mix. They have Mike Evans, obviously, who can break a game open with big plays. Now Abuka. And they didn't have Tristan Wirfs back on the line, so they're not even fully healthy, and they're going to be tough. So, and we know that the NFC South is just abysmal. So they're guaranteed 4 wins there with the Saints and with the Panthers. So they're gonna have a good record. That's my team competing for the number one, or the best team in the NFL after week 1.
Yeah, no, that's a solid pick. I really like Bake. I'll root for him from afar. And yeah, the Bucks. That's definitely a team to look out for.
So, no, well, thanks for joining us, and hope everybody enjoyed our episode on How About Them Podboys and recapping NFL Week 1. As always, check us out on our socials, How About Them Podboys on Instagram and on TikTok. Feel free to comment your views. If you have questions, we'd love to answer them on our next episode. We're looking forward to be back every Sunday night, recap the NFL, best things we saw, best takeaways. And as always, don't forget, it's a Dallas Cowboys podcast. So how about them Cowboys?